Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Eliari in this incarnation. Today I am here to talk about the 2025 to give some insights. I like to use astrology as a symbolic language that helps us to know ourselves, to discover life and experiences more than predictions. But of course, we can tell that there are going to be certain energies very present. So, well. Let's go with the karma notes. I already did a video talking about the change of position that they are going to have in January of 2025. North node is going to move to Pisces, South node to Virgo. And I did a video talking about the expressions, the possible expressions, or how we can channel this energy, but we are going to discover the potential through experiences, through life. So I wanted to add that I think that this node's position, it is also very associated to the union of spirituality and science, because actually they never were separated. It is this conception because of the excess of rationalism of Occident that actually was a consequence of these periods of time of humanity where perhaps the Middle Age, where humanity or society were in this extreme of superstition. So as the Hermetic law says, or all the extremes are finding each other, and we are in a time to integrate them right now, and to know that the subtle worlds and what we consider the matter are unified. So from the entrance of Pluto in Aquarius, Aquarius is a sign that represents technology as discoverings. I don't know. I think I invented that word. I don't care. Innovation, and I am following those things very close these days. I am very interested in that, and what I am seeing is that many things that the mysticism has been telling for centuries, they are now confirmed in a scientific level. So Virgo is the method, is the practical investigation, the detail, and also the rational. And as I explained in that video, we are going to have to amplify our logics, the most limited ones, whatever thing that represents for each one of us, to follow the spirit, to listen to that inner voice, and comprehend experiences beyond what we have incorporated until this point. So in the first eclipse season, we are going to have a total lunar eclipse in Virgo and an eclipse in Aries. And the first one is of South Node. It is a cleansing. So the Aries eclipse, it is closing the previous cycle, the one that we are experimenting at the moment that I am doing this video, with the North Node in Aries and South Node in Libra. And this position of the nodes continues until July of 2026. But their eclipses are going to be mixed up with the other position, with the karma nodes that come from 2026 to 2027, which are in Aquarius and Leo. What I'm trying to say with this is that they are going to be mixed with those other eclipses. So this speaks about the mutability and the flexibility that life is going to ask for us, where in these processes where we are experimenting a lot of changes. And the North Node, it is going to move to Pisces. That is a sign of endings. So we are culminating an era, or a way of conceiving the reality. And while it is very clear that the protagonist of 2025 is Neptune, because it is the regent of the North Node, and on March 30th, it is going to enter in Aries for the first time, opening a cycle in the zodiacal wheel, as well as the equinox in Aries opens the new astrological year. This also marks the starting of a cycle, a greater cycle for the planet and for the collective. On May 25th, it is Saturn the one that is going to enter in Aries, and truly they are going to be in conjunction the whole year, in less of 10 degrees. In fact, for July, August, they are going to be practically in a perfection with their conjunction. So Neptune, it is this planet associated to unity, the infinite, the solution, and it enters in a sign that is strongly associated to the identity, the I, um, beginnings, and this is about starting experiences that we are doing for the first time and that are totally unknown. I will talk about Neptune in Aries later. I'm going to do a specific video. But the thing is that there are going to be aspects of the identity that are going to be dissolved, constructions of who we are that we have to transcend, or that we are going to invite to transcend, to allow ourselves to be beyond that form that was containing our identity. So Saturn, it is this planet that it is following Neptune, and it is going to be like the channel into the matter to make concrete movements, concrete actions that descend those revelations that we are discovering about ourselves and life, and that in the end they are going to contribute with the collective reality. So this process could also be a moment of uncertainty. uh, Confusion could be activated as a mechanism of protection in relation to the new experiences, or in relation to the end of what we know. And both of them, Neptune and Saturn, they are going to return to Pisces because they become retrograde, as they do every year. In September, Saturn returns to Pisces, and in October, it does Neptune. So their definitive entrances occur in 2026. It is also important to say that when they enter in Aries, they are going to connect with Pluto and Aquarius in a more direct way. They are going to perfect the sextile that are already doing at this point. So this has a great potential, transformative, creative, unexplored, and it is this opening for expressions that come from a new consciousness in all environments and constructions of the systems, in a social cultural way, including arts, including everything. And that is precisely the mission that we have in these times, to this end, that blueprint, that stellar blueprint, sorry, that each one brings, to open the way to a new way of living and to a new humanity. So as we know, technology is moving very, very, very fast. And while this has its lights and its shadows too, specifically talking about the intelligences, I already did videos giving my perspectives about this. And also the technology at the service of distraction, because this connection with Neptune could mean virtual realities, parallel ones, worlds in which the people are like running from themselves to not deal with their own reality. It is like a new way of escaping without perhaps consuming a substance. And even there could be relationships with artificial intelligences, and this is about also not wanting to deal with the challenges that imply the relationships with other human beings, but those challenges are precisely the ones that help us to grow in consciousness and individual lives, where we are experimenting every time what the ego wants. Well, actually, they could offer something that is comfortable with quotation marks, but with no sense. And I think that in the end, that is not being alive. And that ends up expressing in some way in the physical body or whatever thing. So, well, then the manipulation of the masses through artificial intelligences could be another expression. But, well, the thing is, I am talking about this, but the thing is that we are responsible for how we are choosing, how we want to use those tools. And if we want to really connect with ourselves and with life in an authentic way. So on June 9th, Jupiter is going to enter in Cancer, and it is going to be very focused in the expansion of, in the emotional level, the family, core, nutrition, home. All of these themes are going to be very, very associated with that. And they are, it is going to make a square with Neptune and Saturn in Aries. This is a transit that we never experimented before in our incarnations. So the cardinal energy is going to be very, very active, calling us to new beginnings and ways of expansion that are very like nourishing for us, but also they imply to put a boundary to programmings of past experiences, or wanting to stay in known places that cannot represent that growth. On July 7th, Uranus enters for the first time in Gemini. Until November, it is going to be a short passage because that there is when returns to Taurus for the last time. So this is going to bring a lot of movement because the minor grand trine that is formed by Pluto in Aquarius, Neptune in Aries as the focal point, and Uranus in Gemini is going to be adjusted. So Uranus is in a sign of air that implies a big acceleration, and it is also connected with Pluto in Aquarius that is also a sign of air, and Neptune in a sign of fire, Aries, giving this impulse. You have to think about the fire, the wind, growing fire. That is how it works. So then we will be the ones that choose how to use that inner fire, that sacred spark. So Uranus in Gemini represents a revolution in terms of communication, transports, educational systems, ways of learning. Uranus many times represents situations that from our perception we are interpreting them as chaos, but truly everything occurs into an order. It is part of an order. And these movements are, of course, going to be very influenced in a big part for technology, because of technology. So we are going to see only an insight, of what we are going to experiment finally in 2026. So this is opening something that is very new, that again we didn't do before. We don't have references to approach the new paths that we are going to open. So well, it could be very, very exciting. We are going to be moved to generate changes in that area of our natal chart. I mean, Gemini, that could be uncomfortable, that could be sudden, but of a great creativity, this download of ideas, innovative ideas and processes that are impulsing us to comprehend reality in a new way and to communicate in a new way. And communication, it is not only using the word, we can communicate in many expressions, actually. So in 2025, I think as 2024, I think it is going to give us that sensation that in a short period of time, we are experimenting 1,000 lives, a lot of changes. So I think that in the next years, not only 2025, we are going to find, situations are going to push us to find a balance between our technological evolution and the consciousness. This is going to be very important. So beyond the expressions, the collective expressions that these things could have, the important thing is to remember where we are going, because it is the same place from we came from. It is the same place. It is the same place that our souls are born. I mean, this infinite path in which we understand that everything is unity, more and more, and that everything is interconnected. And when a situation is in its mask, it is presenting as something very, very negative. Well, we have to remember that has a potential too of light. And not everything that seemed to be positive is truly evolutionary. So with this, what I am going to give is an example that I gave before. And it is that in 2020, with the conjunction of Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn, that put in evidence why the old systems, or the systems as we have conceived them, they are collapsing, and why they are not serving to the, the greatest good anymore, and beyond the intentions and the, the great manipulations of the pharmaceuticals and blah blah blah, etc. That event implied transformation, and a lot of people had their spiritual awakening. A lot of people, they approached this mystical knowledge, they comprehended in a greater depth the basis of how those systems were operating, or they discover more about themselves and what they really want to do. And this process, I think, that enabled all of that for many people. So everything that can occur from here and on, not only 2025, but for all the path, it is inviting us to observe things from this integrative perspective. No matter if we understand in its whole or totally the sense of what we are going through in the present moment, everything occurs for our growth, and for us to choose paths that are really responding to a construction that is loving and conscious in an individual and collective way. So, well, thank you everyone. See you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.